Cheetah!
No, this isn't... Lyria! Why? Is it the life link?
Lyria shares Cheetah's pain, and between the singularities. An intriguing oversight of causalities, but irrelevant if all three die. Lyria! Cheetah!
Hey, those are my friends! You want them, you're gonna...
Paradise Lost.
Pent up much? That release of yours blew up an island.
They survived.
You sure? Their real estate's gone. And it's a long fall to...
Quite sure. The gods insist upon meddling. Leave the singularities for now. We'll return to Point Zero and relay the groundwork for the grand finale.
Perfect. The longer the setup, the sweeter the climate.
Granblue Fantasy Versus. Rising.
Zephyr Soft, deliver her from the Valley of Death. You can breathe easy now. The danger's past.
Paradise Lost.
Tempest fell. Bear them to safe haven! Oh, no, please. No thanks required. The Singularity and I are friends. And so I thought, were we? Look at my face. No sparks going off?
I'm really sorry. You feel the...
Patchwork memories. Two singularities. Mixed together dimensions and chaos, but that chaos is what drew me here. I have a mission to see through.
Before we change topic...
Of course. Ahem. 'Tis I, War God, Mad Cyclone,
Grimnir, yeah, I know.
Singularity! Huh, you came too! And you remember me!
How could I forget? Thanks for... Cheetah, you're finally awake. Don't you... I've broken that promise before, and I'll break it again. But things should get easier with this primal around. Meet the Disciple of Wind and Ally of Angels.
Ooh, time for take two. Ahem. Feels great to be back among friends.
Right. Cool to have you on board, Windy Man. Or guess we should say...
Make that a welcome from all four of us, Grimnir.
The other Singularity! Glad to see you back amongst the living. I consider you a friend as much as Jita. I'd better tell you why I'm here. It's a winding tale and you're barely conscious. But there's no time to rest, I'm afraid. This world is being consumed by chaos. It began with Beelzebub's raising of dimensional barriers. Once parallel worlds coalesced, he would get to rule over all. Gran, you were alerted to Beelzebub's plan by the cracking of causality. You gathered your crew and toppled the would-be king. But it was too late. The barriers had been shattered. Two singularities were washed ashore on a single plane. But Gran and Jita weren't the only things the tide rolled in. With the fabric of existence threadbare, he forced his way back from the dimensional rift. Once here, he set about aggrandizing the chaos. Belial meant to delve back into the rift so he could extract another prisoner. The Lord of Fallen Angels, Lucilius. Lucilius also seeks the convergence of worlds, but not to rule. He aims to draw everything into this sea of chaos. You all saw Lucilius. His might, the powers of Lucifer, once Supreme Primarch, were just a carbon copy of his. Though Jita defeated him before, she had the aid of Sandalphon, the current Supreme Primarch, and the only warrior in the skies equal to Lucilius. But in this world, there are no angels. There exists none who can
What? So we can't win?
Don't worry! All that was just the prologue. Now, let's talk about why I...
Burglars! All right. Who are you?
Wait! Oh, that was so uncalled for! Do I look like a burglar?
This is our house. Well, minus Magic Man over there. Wait. Vern? Huh? Who told you my name? What? You're kidding. Do we know you?
Why me?
Cheetah! Oh gosh, I've wanted to apologize for so long.
Miss?
Oh. I lived here too. With.
Ouchie!
Oops. I am so sorry. I shouldn't have called you a burglar. Or given you a frying. Gran, she ringing any.
No? It's. hard to say. Part of me thinks this is.
I feel the same way. All I know is. It's weird that she remembers each of. Maybe you knew each other as kids. Rayan. My name's Rayan. Gran, Cheetah, you don't need. You should hear the stories people here tell about you. Hi, Rayan. I'm Lyria. I must have seen you somewhere. We've never really talked, but I'm sure we bumped into each other. Back when I was a good old Zinkin.
Something's off. It's not that she's lying. Her existence, it's warped. A ripple in the pond of our universe.
So, I've been wondering, but, you two are...
Right! How could I forget about your injuries? Oh, something. There, a little wind to tuck you in. Now, chop chop, nighty-night, sleep tight, don't let the bedbugs bite.
I'd better leave you to your rest then. Wait! Wendy never got to finish his spiel!
Lucilius.
Port Breeze vanished overnight. The news spread like wildfire to every corner of the skies. People are terrified.
Port Breeze is.
We were there. We should have stopped. No. Lucilius is on the order of natural disaster. There's nothing you or any Sky Dweller could have done. It's a miracle that you're alive. When I learned what happened, I thought... You're here. That's all that matters.
She's right. I get that it hurts, and things seem dark. But we can't turn back. Lucilius hasn't harmed another island. We need to keep it that way.
What's your story, Wonder Boy? Come to beat old Doom and Gloom?
Well, yes and no.
Come to think of it, you never finished telling us why you're here.
Now's as good a time as any.
Ahem. Gather round, gentles all, to hear why You live in a sky without angels are the keepers of the four elements, which make up the natural world. Their work is essential to all living things, and yet, why? The answer lies. Lucilius was defeated once before, by the Singularity and Supreme Primarch. Trapped in the dimensional rift, he nurtured a hatred for angels. He saw them as traitors to their Lord and Creator. All it took was a breach in the dimensional barrier for that vitriol to seep through. It corrupted causality. The Beelzebub provided that breach, and that wasn't all. he unwittingly showed Belial there was a way to bring Lucilius back.
And Belial didn't vanish with the angels.
The whole of time and space has been contaminated, so no one knows when or where the angel... There must also be another system in place maintain... Only one thing is certain. The world is diseased. It's riddled with abnormalities. That is why I manifested. I'm to be the panacea that will...
You're going to cure our world? But that would take the powers of a god.
I'm no stand-in for a god, but I am a disciple. It'll be a first step on the path back to normalcy. On the path back to a world with angels. So much is my office. So far goes my tale. Woo! I nailed it!
Amazing. We've been sent a divine emissary.
Okay. So I'm following along theoretically.
That's what you have to work with if you want to beat
To recap, Lucilius has the powers of Lucifer, right? The Supreme Primarch?
You fight fire with fire and a Supreme Primarch with a Supreme Primarch. But Sandalphon doesn't exist in this world.
Sandalphon. Remind me again. He's the guy who beat the wacko Astral of the Apocalypse alongside Jita?
Correct. Sandalphon and the Singularity. We need both to triumph.
Wait, so you're saying we are gonna revive Sandalphon?
Exactly! The Supreme Primarch and not one, but two Singularities! Got us a winning team!
Right. But let's not forget, first, we have to fix the world. Disciple or not, does a Primal even have that kind of leverage?
When I manifested, the Primarchs granted me partial control over the four elements. We can restore at least a part of Fantagrande if I delegate that power. But we'd need primals of considerable influence.
Meaning the ones contracted to islands.
There's Colossus for fire, Leviathan for water, and Yggdrasil for earth. Tiamat's wind, but she was the guardian of Port Breeze.
And with Port Breeze destroyed,
I will wear the mantle of the Wind's Primal.
Great. Now we've formed a game plan. Question is, whether Lucilius is going to kick...
this is Lucilius we're talking about. With one hit, he decimated an island. What makes you
The grand finale. I believe that will take...
Efficient. Why iron out the kinks if you're gonna blow it all up?
Lucilius is nothing if not...
Then why'd he drop in on the captains?
Or, as a show of power... Nah, that...
We don't have enough information to piece together his motives. What we do have...
An opportunity to carry out...
So that's it. We're bringing back the angels.
Easier said than done. Unlucky for us. What about Beelzebub? Those doppelgangers weren't a pleasure to dance with either.
The doppelgangers. I'd almost forgotten what happened with Seox.
That Seox was convinced your death would stabilize the skies. Right now, everything's a mess. What if one infiltrates the crew under the...
He's right. Doppelgangers can assume the form of any one of us.
We're gonna need a lot more than that. We need firepower. People. Focused.
I heard about the Port Bree situation. And what's this about task groups?
Lancelot!
I'm glad to see you both safe. When I got the news, I expected the worst.
Well, now that you're here, pick a party. We've got the Angel Array, the Ganger Gang, and the Support Scouts.
I'll help the scouts. Been meaning to track down Siegfried.
Oh yeah. Wonder where he went.
I'd like the Singularities, the girl in blue, and Catalina to join me in the...
Why don't I direct the,
I could act as the head of the support scouts, but...
Yes, sirree! This search will be as easy as a...
First, we get everyone to their destinations. Then, we circle back and find the primals.
Right. Let's do this. Hey! Hey!
Rayan?
Something wrong? Take Rayan. We're sailing into... No, I get it.
Beelzebub?
Who the hell are you, anyway? What business do you have with blonde...
Oh, well, he... Long story short, I lent him something very important to me. When he disappeared...
Pathetic. Astral, old as time.
I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I was hanging around the house and caught the name Biel. He's got no reason to come back to the village. Unless I set sail... Please...
Stay here. It's for your...
If we find Beelzebub, we'll make him return whatever he stole.
No. I know I'm asking a lot. But that's how much this means to me. Please... But it just ain't...
Must have lost something irreplaceable if she's willing to risk her life.
Mind if I give the okay, Gita?
Go ahead. Hard to say no after hearing all that. And... thank you.
I can feel it, because I've been blessed by the Primarchs. It surpassed...
baking hot here, as per the usual. Lyria, Vern, you doing okay?
I'm melting. Whew. I got sweat coming out of places I didn't even know I had. Man, even the shade's sweltering.
This place is perfect. Here, the heat will act as tinder to the fire element and allow its power to blaze forth. Girl in blue, the time is ripe! Summon the Colossus!
On it. Colossus, can you hear me?
All done?
Well, that was no big deal. Still better than...
Captain? Really? Thanks to Grimnir's magic, I've never felt more alive. Come on, Jita. Gran struck out first so you could get some rest. If the captain's not at 100, neither's the crew. I promise, guys, I'm as good as new.
You went to hell and back. Scars aren't just skin deep, Jita. Rest.
Eustace, you too? You all are a bunch of big worrywarts. That's only because you're our precious little captain. Now, this could have been my life. Huh? Wait, but I don't...
I appreciate your stepping in, Eustace. That Jita.
There's virtue in both work and rest.
About Rayan, I presume? She also has my hair standing on end.
What do you mean?
She's basically a ghost, Catalina. An entity fabricated from stories and enigma. Untouchable.
She said she was from Gran and Jita's hometown, that she met them long ago. I asked around. Not one person on Zinkenstill recalls her past. Couldn't even tell me when she moved in.
We're talking about Beelzebub here. One of the crap. Perhaps there's a thread of truth in her tale. But she certainly hasn't shown us the whole picture.
What proof is there she isn't in league with Beelzebub?
It's true. We have no proof of Rayan's identity or her motives. But Gran, and perhaps this is naive, but I do too.
May I interject? Sorry, dears. I was passing by and happened to overhear.
Of course, La Diva. Your input is always appreciated.
Rayan is quite the conundrum, isn't she? But perhaps you should be focusing not on what we don't know about her, but...
And what's that?
The captains let her onto the ship. Doesn't that make her part of the crew?
That's no guarantee.
And didn't Gran and Jita take to her right away?
Gran and Jita have never led us astray. Why
Very well. If Catalina's...
Now, mind you, I'm not saying throw all... Is that all right, Eustace?
Understood.